this baby. She's got red cheeks and some red spot on her forehead, which I think is probably from sleeping on it or something. Look how cute she is. Okay, so I'm going to update you real quick. Backbiting. I'm currently feeding her, and as of right now, it is the Wednesday after her surgery, and I still haven't uploaded the surgery video, so it'll probably get uploaded pretty close to each other, if not the same day. Maybe the same day. But I need to be, part of it I was waiting for, I lost my earbuds, like my earphone things, earbuds, and I just ordered this new pair. It's a cheap pair, but I've had this brand before, and it works well enough until it stops working. So it usually lasts a little while, maybe at least a month or so, maybe more, I don't remember, but at least a month. So anyway, I haven't been able to upload, or so, in a mixture of not being able to and not finding time that Brett isn't in the room, because I don't like to edit and like have the video playing and stuff. It's kind of like a self-conscious thing to have it like try to be like editing and like playing the video and stuff that's not officially uploaded yet when Brett's in there, because I usually do it in the office, which is where our computers are. I could take mine somewhere else, but I prefer to do it when Brett's not here or not in the same room. So I haven't been getting it uploaded. It's been, I recorded that video last week sometime. So there's that. But this is the update on how her eye is doing. Let me give her one more thing of food, and then I'll show you her eye. You ready for another bite? There you go. That was kind of a big bite. Okay, so here's her face. She had a droopy eyelid here. I don't know if I showed you when I talked about it before, but this side had a droopy eyelid, which you can kind of still tell there's a difference there. In the surgery, they put the incisions up there, obviously. You can see where that's at. And they moved this. You can kind of see that it's a little different on this side. It's also still a little bruised looking, but you can definitely tell the difference between the sides. I thought that they would open up that side, the right side, as much as the left side was opened up, and it's not. So it might be up higher than it was before. Gwen's trying to put her input in. It might have raised it higher than it was before, but I feel like it's still further down than it should be, and so that kind of bothers me. But maybe once it's completely healed, it'll be up higher. And she had yeah, more. She had her checkup today to see how her eye is doing, and the doctor said that the eye doctor lady, ophthalmologist, said that later on when she gets older, they'll do some stuff to it to make it like kind of wrinkly or whatever, like look more like the other eyelid, so it looks more natural. But she said if they do that now, then it'll end up looking weird as she grows and stuff, as she gets bigger. So they're gonna wait until she grows some more, and then they'll do that. And I'm not really worried. I'm not worried about how it looks, really. I just feel like it's still kind of further down than the other eye, but I think it is better, and it's healing pretty well. She noted, and I kind of see it too, that it's still red. Hi! It's still kind of red, so she wants to make sure I keep putting the stuff on it. They gave me some, I don't know what they call it, like ointment stuff to put on the eyelid. I'm giving her bananas. Some ointment to put on the eyelid. And they were in, well, the same ointment. They were having me put on the actual eye, because the way, like, with what they did, she can't close the eye really, so they wanted the ointment on there like 3 or more times a day to keep it moist and stuff, so that her eye didn't dry out since it can't close and stuff. But she told me today that that I don't need to put it on her eye anymore, except for like right before she goes to bed, but to keep putting it on her eyelid or like her eyebrow, whatever, where the incision is, 3 times a day. So that's kind of how the aftercare is going. I should have talked about the main thing first, but I wanted to show you how she looks. That's her eyelid, and that's her face. Hi. That baby. I love her so much. I went about a week or so without doing her hair, and then we started doing it on Monday, or maybe it was yesterday. I don't remember, but I just started doing that again this week. It might have been Monday. I don't know. But I think she just looks so cute and grown and stuff with her hair up like that, and it's so cute. So yeah, that's the aftercare. The day of the surgery, my mom went, and Brett went, and of course I went. So there are 3 of us that went. My mom was in the waiting room most of the time because only 2 of us could go back. I felt kind of bad that we kept leaving her, and at one point, when we were back waiting for her to go into surgery, my mom went to the waiting room, Brett and I were in there, and I had forgotten my phone, so I couldn't even like tell her to, or text her to tell her like what was going on and stuff, to update her. She was supposed to have her surgery at 10 o'clock last Friday morning, and they took us back like, I don't know, past the door to like the waiting area for us, like where she was gonna where she was gonna get her scrubs on and wait and stuff, and where they asked us all the questions, all that jazz, away from the regular waiting room. We went back there probably around 8:30 or so, and we were there until she had her surgery. So it was like forever, and my mom, I wouldn't even update my mom on like what was going on or what we were doing, what we were getting ready to do or anything. So I felt bad because I had left my phone. I didn't really want to go out there because I didn't know when they were gonna like come and get her to go to surgery. More. She's learning to say more rather. We're trying to teach her to say more rather than screaming when she wants more. She's doing pretty good, but it's a learning process. Anyway, so yeah, I didn't have anything to update her, and then it got to be like 5 or 10 till 10, and a nurse comes over, and the doctor had come over and like kind of introduced. I mean, I knew who she was, but kind of like introduced what was going on and stuff, and what was going to happen, and had us sign a paper and all that jazz, and then went on her way while we were waiting. But yeah, like 5 or 10 till 10, a nurse came over and let us know the doctor had been called to go do something else. So it was going to be, and it was taking a little bit, so it was going to be more like 10:30 when she would be taken back for surgery. And we had been waiting forever anyway, and Gwen hadn't eaten any food since the night before when she had supper. Actually, I gave her a graham cracker at like 7:30 or whatever right before bed, because I knew she wouldn't be able to eat past midnight, and she went to bed at 8. So she hadn't eaten since like 7:30, and that was a graham cracker. But she had had supper before that, but the last thing she had eaten was a graham cracker at like 7:30. And then she had some water when she first got up at like 6, before we left to go to the thing, because we had to be there at like 8:30. And so she hadn't eaten since like 7:30 the night before. It had been over 12 hours. And she hadn't drank anything since like 6, and that was just like a little bit of water. It wasn't even like a full cup because she didn't drink all of it. And I'm trying to chase this piece of banana. Darned it. I'll just give it to her in my hand. Here. So she was like super hungry and kind of cranky, and she wasn't as cranky as she could have been for as long as it had been. She was doing pretty good, but she was getting cranky, and so I was like, before they came, I was like, oh good, we only have like 10 more minutes or so until they come and get her for surgery. And then they come like a couple minutes later and tell us that it's going to be another half hour. I'm like, oh, seriously? I didn't say that to them, but I was thinking, seriously? This baby's waited long enough to eat. So eventually, like 10:35 or so, the doctor comes over, and I'm going to go rinse your stuff off and I'll get you some milk, okay? The doctor comes over. Oh god. Or not even the doctor. Somebody that's going to be in there. It's probably another doctor or something, but some other doctor, I don't know, some other lady comes over and tells us like that she's gonna take her back and stuff. Can I set you guys down for a minute while I get Quinn's milk? I'm trying to multitask here. So anyway, this lady comes that hadn't talked to us yet. We had talked to probably had like 3 or 4, maybe like 3 different nurses, plus the doctor, plus the anesthesiologist, all that had come and talked to us at this point. And so yet another person comes that we hadn't talked to yet. Said that she was going to be in there in the surgery and stuff. So she comes to get Gwen. We put her in the bed that was sitting there, and she wheels her away, and tells her if we can go to the waiting room or whatever. So we go to the waiting room. We wait there for a while. Of course, she has her surgery and stuff. When her surgery is done, the doctor that did the surgery comes and tells us how it went, which they said that it went exactly the way they were hoping that it would go. It went really well. She was doing good, but they were waiting on her to wake up at the time, and that they told us the aftercare instructions, which I kind of already told you about, like the ointment and stuff on the eye. Do you want any more than that? And then asked if we had any questions, and just kind of gave us a after surgery briefing type of thing. And then we went and sat down again, waiting for her to wake up. The surgery was done at that point. We were just waiting for her to wake up from the anesthesia. So then when they woke up, or when she woke up, they came and got us. And for most people, it was interesting. For most people, they were like, family of so-and-so, like saying the kid's name. And you weren't really paying attention. Like, they'd just come out and say it. And so, sometimes you'd have to be like, okay, what did they just say? Did they say this? Did they say Gwen? What did they say? But usually, there were a couple times where I thought maybe they'd say Gwen or something, but I saw somebody else getting up, and I'm like, okay, obviously they didn't say Gwen. So anyway, we're waiting. But when they came out, they just said, Newman. And so, I don't think they said Gwen unless they said it and we just didn't hear it. But they came out and said Gwen, or said Newman. So Brett and I went back. And I wasn't super worried or scared or anything during any of it. I was excited to see her after the surgery and cuddle her and stuff, just in general. But the hardest part was walking in and seeing her, and she was well, they'd warned us that after the surgery, because of what they'd be doing, her eye wouldn't be closing, and so that might kind of look weird, and they just warned us about that. So we went in. It did kind of look weird, but we were prepared. And she was laying there in her scrubs and stuff, and as soon as they took us through the door out of from the waiting room through the back area to the I don't know, aftercare area, we could hear her crying, and I was like, oh. And then we went into the little curtained area, and she was laying there and kind of fussing, and there were a couple of nurses there, and she was kind of disoriented, which they warned us about too. That sometimes, especially the little ones, they're disoriented when they first wake up from the anesthesia. So she was kind of like that, and kind of her eye was kind of messed up, and her hair was all pushed back, and she just looked kind of sad. Her condition was sad looking, and then of course she was sad. So I went over to her, and I wasn't sure if I could pick her up or not, but I didn't really say anything. I just kind of went over to her, and as I was walking over to her, the nurse moved out of the way, and they're like, oh, you can pick her up if you want. Just watch her IV, because she had an IV connected to her foot. So I picked her up and was careful to hold that, and they offered to get her something to drink, so I had them get her apple juice, because they said water or apple juice, so I had them get her some apple juice, and she had a couple things that big looking of Pedialyte. Well, they said they'd had Pedialyte, and I saw the bottles sitting there that were that big, and they asked if I wanted a bottle of juice or a cup with a straw. And she's been pretty good about drinking from a straw. She can suck it up and stuff, but she isn't good about knowing how much to take, so she sucks it up and then spits half of it out. And especially in that condition, I didn't want to worry about having a mess all over and her getting frustrated and all that jazz. So I asked her a bottle, which she hasn't drank from a bottle in a couple months. Do you want this? It's been a few months since she's drinking from a bottle, so it was weird to see her, to be feeding her a bottle, and I was holding it for the most part because, like I said, she was disoriented and stuff. Eventually, by the time she was at the end of it, she had been holding it for a little, the last, fifth of the bottle she held, but they, filled it up. It was, a big bottle, and they filled it up with juice. And then said that if she kept that down fine, to go ahead and try to give her food when we got home, and that if she happened to throw that up, because I guess 10% of kids throw up food for right after. So they said if that did happen, to just wait a little bit and try again. But we gave her food when we got home. She didn't throw any of it up. I think she just had a graham cracker or something. She had a little bit of other stuff later that day, but she didn't have any problems throwing anything up or anything. Do you want this? I keep trying to give her her cup, and she's like, no. I had that as a bib, if you're wondering. Do you want it or no? Hi. Hi. This thing, I love her so much. She's so cute. Ah, so cute. Ah. Oh my goodness. I can't do it. So yeah, that was pretty much the gist of it. She was cranky the rest of that day. We were able to give her Tylenol. I gave her that twice that day after getting home. We got some food on the way home. She didn't have that food, but she had stuff once we got home. And then since then she's been pretty much herself. I've had to put the stuff on her eye, but besides that, it's been pretty much normal days and different people seeing. I just tried to give her to her that again, and she just threw it off the side right away. Okay, so that's pretty much how the surgery went and everything. It's 3:24. Today, well, actually Friday, this past Friday when she had her surgery, was Brett's half birthday. And I was just thinking today about my half birthday, thinking about different special things coming up, which half birthdays aren't that big of a deal, but I like to celebrate just a little bit. And I almost forgot about his half birthday, and I would feel bad, it's thinking about my half birthday, and a lot of times, I think about it when it comes up, and I'm like, oh, I never did anything for his, but so, I went to go get him, I think I'm going to get him a Frappuccino, and a big old, $10 bag of M&Ms, and that can be his treat tonight, for his half birthday. It's a belated birthday, because it's 5 days after his half birthday, but I'm going to get him a little treat and surprise him. I'm going to go about 3:30. I'm going to leave about 3:30, so in a few minutes. And, you want to say hi? Hi! Hi! You're so cute. We're going to go in a few minutes. Hi! He gets home at 4, so I'm going to go run to Walmart and get the M&Ms. And then go through Starbucks and get him a Frappuccino. Hi! Hi! And get him a couple treats, and then we'll head back home. And I think it's home about 4, a little after 4, so I'll have that here when we get home, or just show up with him if he's already here. We'll have to see how the time goes. And then I'll make some food. Are you tired of being in your seat? Yeah? Can you say bye to the video? Say bye! 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 Alright, I'll see you guys later.